What is the worst Roblox game you've ever seen? We're talking about the kind of game that makes you nauseous. The kind of game that makes you want to hate yourself for giving it a chance. I'm sure you can recall at least one Roblox game that made you lose hope in this materialistic world. For example, have you ever tried the Roblox High School? Now, I do admit that the idea of attending a school in Roblox sounds amusing, but let's just say that this game is more like a social experiment gone horribly wrong. What do I mean by that? Well, for starters, there's something messed up about attending a virtual high school in your free time, but even if we give the premise the benefit of a doubt, the gameplay itself will make you slam your head against the wall. It's not even proper roleplay. There's really nothing more than walking around the school campus and attending random, boring classes. Everyone looks like a clone of each other, and yes, I know that is how schools are in some places in the world, but come on, it's Roblox. Can we get a little bit more creative, eh? Plus, if your best buddy, the class clown, and the bully all look the same, then that is not very healthy at all. But the biggest issue with this game is the way the social features work. You can tell that the developers wanted the game to foster a sense of community, but because of the mundane, lackluster, and overall boring nature of the game, it quickly became a tempting spot for cyberbullying and harassment. This becomes especially worse when you consider how many kids are like 9 years old pretending to be 16. I mean, if a game is so bad that it becomes a channel where sketchy people invite clueless kids to their private servers, then there is something fundamentally wrong about it. Yeah, everything from the gameplay to the low resolution, the pixelated lookalikes to the toxic and questionable roleplays, Roblox High School is garbage. Moving on to the next game, we have a title that may surprise some of you, but hear me out. What do you think of Blox Fruits? It's among the most played Roblox games of all time, but personally, I just don't see the appeal. Let me know what you think, because as much as I love fruits, I cannot stomach the horrible, downright atrocious graphics this game has to offer. Seriously, the textures are blurry, the colors are muted, and everything looks as though it was designed in MS Paint. Okay, maybe that was a bit harsh, but come on! Sometimes it's so confusing. The gameplay itself is also pretty repetitive and tedious. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the idea of the premise. Heck, One Piece is by far one of the most enjoyable anime I've ever seen, but this is not like One Piece. We have boring, repetitive tasks instead of grand adventures. Although I do admit that this game can be considered an outlier on this list. The player versus player combat is probably the best thing about it, especially because of how toxic and hostile the community is. You just feel like beating someone up, and that's what you do. But unfortunately, the games we have up next are far, far worse than Blox Fruits. This is where we're going to start talking about the games that will physically repulse you. They'll make you hate yourself, like Adopt Me and Raise a Cute Baby. Again, this sounds like a good premise, right? It's about adopting and raising a cute baby, but let me tell you that nobody cares. Literally nobody cares about raising a cute baby. It's just people using the game as a dating platform, and we all know what happens when a game is used as an online dating platform, right? Everyone is just toxic, rude, and all over the place. Now, I know that some of you may be confusing this game with another game which is called Adopt Me, but let me add that this one is way worse than Adopt Me. It's the pinnacle of the Roblox cancer everyone rants about. Everyone breaks the terms of service, there are probably plenty of predators, and the online dating element is downright toxic. It's not even a feature, people just got tired of the stupid gameplay and decided to turn it into an online dating platform. But hey, let's ignore all of that and just focus on the premise. Let's see if there's still some enjoyment to be had in playing this game. Of course, the gameplay is subpar, the textures look muddy, but that much goes without saying. However, when the game is about raising a cute baby and the babies themselves are stiff and unrealistic, you can't really take it seriously. Plus, the way you take care of the baby is by repeating the same things using the same kind of gameplay, and you do it all alone because the actual social features of the game barely exist. No wonder nobody adopts babies and everyone just uses the game to do some online dating. Although that is also questionable because plenty of players are pretending to be someone else. Yeah, there is really nothing redeemable about this game. Nothing at all. Alright, next up we have is Cole's Admin House NBC. And I still don't know what the name means. NBC is a broadcasting company, but who is Cole? What's going on at his admin house? Whatever guys, let's ignore the name and discuss the game. The idea is very straightforward. There is the admin script in the house, and you can use the script to abuse all the admin privileges, like doing whatever you want to other players. I'll admit, it's pretty intriguing and honestly a good concept for a Roblox game, game, but this game, as well as many other games that go with this concept, simply end up running into the same problem. We're talking about a little bit of trolling and plenty of abuse. It's not fun when a few players start abusing the script and ruin the experience for everyone. It becomes absolute anarchy pretty fast. If you don't have admin, you won't last a minute in this game, and honestly, that's all there is to it. There isn't much to do except killing people. Those with admin access would make sure that others cannot reach the house, and where this gets worse is when the admins start kicking people out of the server. I'd say it's not a bad game if you can get the script, but overall, if you can't, you'll just be in a cycle of continuously getting killed again and again and again, and by the time you give up, you'll have so much hatred for this game that not even chocolate chip ice cream would cheer you up. Anyways, how about Boho Salon? Wait, Boho Salon? More like bot and scam salon. For real though, we're talking about a virtual hair salon, and as much as the idea sounds boring, it's the bots, the trolls, and the scams that make this game insufferable. Still, let's look at the premise. You have to manage a hairdressing business, but the gameplay is limited to trimming, coloring, and styling hair. Doesn't take long before you'd rather cut a paper in real life than continue hairdressing in the game. There is really no sense of customization or creativity, and the gameplay is stiff at best. The walls are so gray and pink that it gets depressing to even continue looking at the screen. And let's go back to scams and bots. The amounts of bots and scams in plain sight are hysterical. You can even tell that the game doesn't even want you to take it seriously. It's just about trolling with hairdressers and not falling for obvious scams. Honestly, this is an obvious pattern with trashy games. They want you to spend your previous Robux every 2 minutes, even though they have nothing to offer. Alright, so moving on from the bot and scam salon, let's talk about Stateview Prison. Okay, so what do we have here? Basically, it's a prison roleplay game, and I'm going to reveal what makes this game so horrible in one sentence. It makes you pay Robux to escape the prison. Guys, imagine a prison roleplay game where you have to pay money to escape. And actually, you get two choices. You can either be a guard or a prisoner. Of course, even if you are a guard, you are going to have to waste your Robux. Yes, there's even prison labor, which you can do to earn some of the in-game currency, but as expected, it's boring and repetitive. Everything about this game is just this hollow shell of an experience. No intensity, no consistent sense of danger, just pay the Robux and you'd win. It's the same old Robux supremacy as pretty much every other trash game on Roblox. The chat system is a toxic wasteland too, just full of all sorts of derogatory language and hate speech. Barely any moderation whatsoever. Honestly guys, let's not waste any more time talking about this trash. If you want a proper jailbreak experience on Roblox, you should just play Jailbreak. It's among the best games Roblox has to offer, and unlike Stateview Prison, it gives you a proper, enjoyable gaming experience. Yeah, just play Jailbreak, it's better. Alright, so after Jailbreak, what do you think of an Area 51 raid? Yep, the next game we have is called Area 51, and as expected, it's based on all the Area 51 raid memes, which is not impressive because this idea has been explored a stupid number of times before, but it takes serious skill to make something this bad. I mean, what is this game even about? You run around aimlessly just trying to avoid getting caught by the laziest AI-controlled guards you've ever seen. And the funny thing is, it's not even the guards that get you, it's all the glitches and the random bugs that mess everything up. You'll clip through walls, get stuck in objects, and randomly teleport across the map for no reason whatsoever. Heck, even a fellow player can accidentally hurt you. This is how bad this game is. Plus, even if you're willing to excuse the downright awful gameplay, you'll be grossed out by how the game looks. It's supposed to be a secret government facility with aliens and everything in between, but the game just looks like crap. It looks bad, it plays bad, and it even sounds bad because I promise you that when you hear the same generic alarms and gunshots for the 12th time in a row, your ears are going to start bleeding. I'd say if you want a decent Area 51 game, you should just play Survive and Kill the Killers in Area 51. Moving on, we have a game called Beach House Roleplay. Now, I'm sure that just the title alone must have raised red flags for you, but let me give you an interesting scenario. There's a guy who changes his appearance, makes himself look like a girl, and becomes somebody's girlfriend in this beach house roleplay. Of course, nobody would be able to tell if it's an actual girl or just a creep posing as a girl, right? Well, when the same dude plays another game on Roblox where you can't change your appearance, he's going to get immediately found out. That sums it up. I won't be surprised if it's creeps catfishing each other and not realizing what's going on. And honestly, it's inevitable for every trashy game to end up as an online dating spot. Like, what else are you supposed to do? Just sit around the house that doesn't even look like a beach house? The island is really small small and there's no structure or narrative in place. There's barely any scenery or even basic things like restaurants or shops except from the beach house itself. It's just a generic seaside backdrop for players to gaze at. It's full of creeps, predators, and guys who are cluelessly getting catfished. Overall, beach house roleplay is just really bland, boring, and tedious. Now, the final game we're going to talk about today is something that many of you must have trashed at least once in your life. Yeah, it's Meep City. The name of this game consistently and regularly shows up whenever somebody talks about the worst Roblox games ever, but honestly, it wasn't always a bad game. The worst thing about Meep City is how it's one of the most popular worst games, which means an extraordinary number of trolls, online daters, scammers, and predators, and everything in between. I'm sure there are plenty of conspiracy theories about how the trend of online dating in Roblox games was first started in Meep City, which makes sense because the game is just a role-playing platform where you socialize with other players and do things together. Of course, this premise has been done to that. Roblox is all about role-playing games after all, but honestly guys, if you want to get a proper experience where everyone roleplays and everyone does things, you don't have to go with Roblox. You can just go with Second Life. I'm not kidding. Roblox games are trashy and horrible when it comes to an authentic role-playing experience. Second Life also has its cons, but it's just better in every way. I'm sure it's also a better online dating platform too. Infinitely better than Meep City, where communication between players is just limited to basic text chat, and all the activities are repetitive and uninspired. Meep City really just fails at the most basic level. It fails to keep you engaged. And guys, let me tell you that when people are not engaged, they find their own ways to have fun. The NSFW stuff and the entire predatory culture around this game has done a pretty good job in ruining Roblox's reputation. But what do you think? Do you agree that all the games we talked about today are just awful abominations that make you hate yourself? Which one of these do you think best qualifies for the title of the worst Roblox game ever? Maybe you guys have another horrible game in mind? Come on guys, we're gonna continue this conversation down below. Go wild in the comment section, tell me about your worst Roblox gaming experience. As always, a like and subscribe will put a smile on my face and keep me motivated to create more fun and goofy content for y'all. Just follow this channel guys, we're going to make some great waves with somewhat silly and somewhat uncanny content. Feel free to recommend any ideas for future videos you'd like to see on this channel as well. Alright, with that said, I guess I'll see you all in the next video.